Welcome to this look at new mods on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. It's Tuesday, May the 4th. We have some cracking new mods and we have some updates. The updates are as follows. From top left, the map Hills of Italy by MikiMapper. The mod test map by NinjaCut. This is a bit of a dicey one, if I'm honest. It's had an update, but the update is to add another map. So it hasn't been released as a separate map. So now that's got mod test map and one called American Grasslands. The update is an entire new map added in. People may overlook that because it says update. I may do a map tour on that at some point. The Syntrack by ITS has had an update. As far as I can tell, the update is PC only. The changelog shows a load of PC stuff. I think it's PC only. The Grosseto pack by DD Mod Passion has had some new trailers and some manure spreaders added into it. The Ermo Diablo SPEV pack by SMI Modding Team and Modulaker. The Speed Tiller 475 disc by LR Modding. The pack John Deere 700FD by AgrarDesignAustria. The AWM Beetle by Adams Kong says update. I think that may be new to console. If it's not new to console, it may be one that I missed when I was away on holiday the other week. The Wooden and Brick Shed pack by Icas and South Parana by Ze Enrique Agro Farm BR have all had updates today in some form or another. Now in front of me we've got the AWM Beetle by Adams Kong. 15.2 megabytes download. This is showing as an update. Now this may have dropped on console the week I was away on holiday, but I was almost convinced that it only dropped on PC. Either way, this is the first time of me reviewing it, so I'm going to show you these anyway. Even if it's new today to console or if it's an update, this is the first time I'm reviewing it. These are 8 slots each. We have got a 60s Beetle, a 70s Beetle, an 80s Beetle and a Dune Buggy. And I'll be honest, when I saw the Dune Buggy, I thought, oh, that's fantastic, love that. My favourite, by far, is the 60s one. I don't know why, I just love the look of that. I think it's absolutely fantastic. We'll have a look at them in action in a moment. You'll find them under Vehicles and Cars. So the Beetle 60s, 14 grand to buy. Like I say, 8 slots, which then drops down to 1. We can change the main colour to anything on this palette here. Rim colour to anything on this palette. Then design colour is the interior. So we can change the interior. We can do red to match or whatever you want. Then we got license plate, no plate. We got license plates 1, 2, 3, 4, Brazilian, United States, French, German. I'm really showing off how appalling. That one I've blanked. And then back to no again. Attaches, yes or no. Now, for as far as number plates go and trailer hitches go, that's the same on all of the models. So I won't show you those on all of the models, but we can have a trailer hitch for pulling whatever you want on the back. Then you've got wheel cover and rims. Only wheel cover, only rubber wheel without the wheel cover, then none of them, so you just get the rubber wheel and back to that. Those white wall tyres, I think, look great on the 60s one. Tension belt, yes, puts the roof rack on, which then has tension belts. That's the look, I think, is just brilliant. And then we've got an engine 1300, 46 horsepower, or a 52 horsepower in the 60s version. Very nice. The 70s version is a little bit more expensive. Colour palette changes, a bit more muted. It's kind of mustards and various different, colours like that. Again, license plate and attaches are the same options, but this one we've got auxiliary headlights, round or square underneath. You can't have both on that, one or the other. Then wheel setup, we've got standard with wheel covers, back to standard again, so eyes are on that. Tension belts puts that roof rack on, which then has tension belts. Then with this one, we've got the 52 horsepower engine or a 58. So this one goes up a little bit in the horsepower band, 52 or 58. Then move on to the 80s Beetle. I would have loved to have seen the Herbie one. That would have been just brilliant. Anyway, Colour options on this one. Bit more bold, bit more, I suppose, yeah, just bold colours. Again, license plate and attachers are the same on this one. Auxiliary headlight, again, we've got a round, we've got a square underneath. Tension belt, same roof rack, pretty much. This one, engine, we've got the 58 horsepower and we've got a 70 horsepower. So we're going up again, up to a 70 horsepower. A few little tweaks and changes. Then we come to the dune buggy. The dune buggy's main colours are in this range. Roof rack, no. Model 1. Model 2, which changes the lights on there from being round spotlights on the top to square spotlights. Attachers, yes or no, so we can have a rear trailer on that as well. Wheel setup, Model 1 or Model 2. 1 or 2, it's like being the opticians, isn't it? 1 or 2. Then exhaust, we've got Model 1 and Model 2, which actually looks pretty cool, doesn't it? So, those are the options. Now, let's hop in. Oh, I just think it looks great. Lights, horn, tension straps on the roof, L1 and X, opens that rear engine bay. Then we've got, I'm going to open the side panel just to help me. L1 and right stick side to side opens the left door, up and down opens the right, no, sorry, let's say it again. Up and down opens the left door, side to side opens the right door. Then if we go R1 and right stick up and down, we can open the bonnet. Spare tyre, a few bits and bobs in there, just in case they break down. Inside, I love it. I think they're brilliant. Like I say, you may have already seen these if they did come out on console the week I was away. But for me, hang on, let's close that properly. There we go. That's the 60s. '70s, tension straps go across that way. Same options on the engine bay, doors, all those kind of things as well. Lights on this one, we've got the extra lights on the front. They're so well made as well. I think that's what's great about them. Like the Santana, the kind of Land Rover that we had, they look absolutely brilliant. And we've got the 80s version. Again, same options. We can open the rear, we can open the doors, we can open the bonnet. I don't think anything's different inside them. Oh, actually, yeah, this one hasn't got tools in it. Maybe the 60s one breaks down more. Let's check this one, see if it's got a different one. Let's check the 70s one. Oh yeah, same as the 60s. Then we come to the dune buggy. No engine bay to open up on that. I say engine bay, boot at the front. Engine compartment is already open. Lights, horn, these are just brilliant. I absolutely love them. Oh no! I've just destroyed my favourite one. Anyway, I'm so carried away with driving it. They're fantastic. I think they're absolutely great. So, there you go. That's the AWM Beetle by Adams Kong. Moving on, we've got the log sheds. The log sheds are by OmaTana. 2.42 megabytes to download. They are 2 slots each. We've got the big, we've got the narrow, we've got the small, and we've got the mini on the end. You'll find all of these under sheds. There are lights. I think they're automatic. I haven't found a light switch. The first 3 are drive-throughs, so you don't have to reverse in. Again, as we go down from, I mean, that one's narrow because it's a single bay rather than a double bay. Then we've got the slightly smaller one, which is a little bit lower, a little bit smaller for probably medium machinery. And then we've got the mini on the end just here. these you'll find under placeables and sheds. So wooden shed big is 5 grand, wooden shed narrow 3 grand, wooden shed small 3 grand, and the mini is only 500. There we go. They're by OmaTana. Now, the next of the mods is why today's mod review is brought to you from a different map other than No Man's Land. We are on Hills of Italy, because the next mod is Production Hills of Italy, and it only works on this map at the moment. It does say in the Mod Hub website this mod can only be used with compatible maps, so obviously at the moment this is the only compatible map. This is by MikiMapper, 16.15 megabytes download, but obviously you need the map as well, which is 211.97 megabytes. Whichever one you download, it will download the other one automatically for you. Now, in this pack we have got a bread factory, we have got a cheese factory. It requires milk, so we've got bread, we've got cheese, we've got pellets, we've got a lettuce greenhouse, and we've got a tomatoes greenhouse. What I will do is just cut for a second to show you, because I had to set these all up, get them all filled up with stuff so we can see some pallets out the back. But before I did that, these are found under sheds, but they do still use the animal system. So I'll just cut to something to show you now. So whilst these are found under the shed section rather than the animal section, they do still use the animal system to operate. So for each of the factories, the bread, the cheese, the pellets, and then the greenhouses, they need to be activated. So for the factories, we come up onto here, press L3, then move, confirm, and that's now active. So what should happen is if I go into our livestock menu, we should see their productivity. So I need to put wheat or barley in, and then we can get going with production. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to settle these off. I just want to show you the greenhouse one. There is lettuce and tomato. So what we'll do is click on here, same thing, move, confirm, go back into this menu, and you'll see that the lettuce one is also available. I'm going to set all those up, and I'll jump back to future MrSealyp, and we should have some pallets and things out to actually show you. So just like all the other production packs and things you've had recently, you need to use the animal menu. If I go in now and we scroll across, you'll see that I've got them all here. So we've got our pellet production, cheese production, greenhouse tomatoes, greenhouse lettuce, and our bread. Now, capacities for these: the bread factory requires wheat or barley, and that will take 80,000 litres to fill it. So when you put your wheat or barley in, your your product out the back will be pallets of bread. Now these ones are complete and boxed, but that's what they look like with the bread in. I think these are fantastic. They're really, really nicely done. Now, are they going to cause conflicts with animal pens and things like that? There's no details given. The other production packs we get, like VR Shabba and Vanquish 081 and people like that, there's normally a big long list of instructions. There isn't on this one. So the fact it's only working on this particular map at the moment, I think, is probably what helps it. But it's a nice addition to it, and potentially other map makers will take it on board. So the next one is our cheese factory. This will take milk, and it's 100,000 litres of milk it will take, and then it will produce your cheese, which will come at the back. They will be boxed up when they're complete, but until they're boxed up, you get the cheese wheels in a wooden pallet like that. Again, nice touch, like that. These are very well made and nicely done. And the last one is your pellets. This requires wood chips. Wood chips going into this, it is 80,000 litres of wood chips will fill it completely. And you get your wood chip pallets out the back here with your bags. That one's not quite complete yet, but these ones are. Then if we go over to our greenhouses, we've got our tomatoes and our lettuce. Each of these will take 50,000 litres of water and 100,000 litres of manure. And then you get your pallets of tomatoes. Again, great detail. Made in Italy, love it. And then we've got our lettuce around the sides here. Brilliant. So as I said, you will find these under sheds, not under the animal system, although they still use the animal system. So each of the factories are 50,000. Actually, they're all 50,000, aren't they? Yeah, they're all 50,000 to buy. They are, I think, slots. They are all. Oh, actually, right. Bread is 13 slots. Cheese is 12 slots. Pellets is 13 slots. And then the greenhouses are 6 slots each, which, as you can see, all drop down to 1 for any subsequent one you place after that. Now, it doesn't say about limits. I would imagine it's still going to be the same. I think 10 overall, whether you've got animal pens or factories, is normally the most you can place on a map. Now, as far as selling them goes, on this map, because this is the only map that they work on at the moment, we have got the supermarket sell point and the, well, I've got the Edge grain vault, but that's not normally on here. I've just got that for setting up. Prices are pretty good for your bread, your cheese, pellets, lettuce and tomatoes. I mean, lettuce are going for 1,919. So, not bad at all. I think, yeah, it's a really nice addition. And like I say, the detailing on it, the detail of the pallets and that kind of thing, absolutely brilliant. Really, really nice indeed. So hopefully these get moved over. And like I say, I hope they're not going to cause any problems with the animal system. I think I've said this before. What we need is a separate factories system. Possibly on FS22 we might. So you've got the animal system, and if we are going to have factories and things that are going to be done on console, maybe Giants need to think about having a separate system put in place in the coding that allows for it to operate without impacting on the animal system. That would be pretty cool if we can. But anyway, that is the production Hills of Italy by MikiMapper. Moving on, we have got the Long Forks Pack for Wheel Loader. This is by JD Farms Modding. JG. Why did I write JD? JG Farms Modding. I do apologise. And we have got a pallet fork and we've got a bale spike. These are, as you can see, really long. The pallet fork will take 3 pallets, IBCs, boxes, those kind of things. Now, you may need a rear weight. Depends what wheel loader you're going to use. There are obviously adapters, so you can use wheel loader attachments and other things. I would say if you're going to use other things, you are going to need another weight. Only downside I found was trying to put 3 IBCs on here because of the length of the pallet forks. Obviously, the further away from the vehicle you get, the more movement you've got. At this end, a small movement here has a much larger movement at the end. Obviously, the further out you go, the much bigger the swing. So trying to line these up to get them onto the forks was a fairly tricky proposition. And they're a bit zany, but you can carry 3 pallets or IBCs. You'll find these under tools and wheel loader, wheel loaders. So the long bale fork is 1,450, the long pallet fork is 1,450. The slot counts on these is 6.48 megabytes download, 6 slots for the long bale fork and 3 slots for the pallet fork. We can change the design color to anything on that pallet. Design color is, you'll see in a minute, it's the next bit. Main color, again, anything on that pallet. If I then go design, standard or extension, the design color is your extension. Just gives you a little bit more support for whatever else you're putting on there. And the same goes for the pallet forks. Design color will do that. Main color, then standard or extension, as you can see. So what we'll do is it is a little bit crazy. Now, obviously, the other difficulty I found, again, is that slight movement at one end has a huge impact at the other end. So trying to get pallets off of this proves quite tricky because at the closest to the wheel loader, it looks like you're in the right position, but right out the end of the pallet forks, you're not quite. And I would, like, as you can see, I'm really struggling to get stuff off these. Now, it requires a little bit of finesse, which I apparently do not have. I mean, you can kind of drop them off, but as you can see, they don't want to come off there. Potentially an issue. I'm going to keep them on there because I may need them for something in a minute, which I might need to just try. But anyway, Long Forks Pack for Wheel Loader by JG Farms Modding. Apologies for that. Moving on, we have got this. This is the SILVERCUT Disc 300F S Flow 10.69 megabytes download. This is by AgrarDesignAustria, 11 slots on console. This is a 3-meter mower, really nicely designed, nice look, nice recreation. I'm not gonna show you. It's a mower. It mows. It's 3 meters wide. It doesn't have any option for swathing or anything like that. It's a front mower, but you will find it under mowers. 16,720 to buy. Slot count will drop down from 11 to 1. Runs at 13 miles per hour. Requires 61 horsepower to operate. That's jiggling around quite a lot. There we go. Next, we have got this. This is the Lizard 8060. This is 15.31 megabytes download, 19 slots on console. This is by Sleutjes Modding, V3D Modding. It's fairly basic in the options you get with it, as far as I can make out as well, looking by the canopy as well. This is another South American is the south of the northern. South American. Nicely made, nicely put together. You'll find it under small tractors. 14,500, cheap as chips to buy. We've got option of Lizard or Michelin tyres. Under Lizard, we've got standard, we've got doubles, we've got a narrow. Weirdly, I think it's just the rear tyre that changes. If you look at the front one, you have a narrow rear, but the front stays the same as far as I can tell. And then back to standard, and then under Michelin, we have got standard, and we've got thin. Now that one does change. And we've got engine setup, 110 horsepower or 118 horsepower. So 118 horsepower, the price goes up to 18,850. Not too expensive. Quite a tight turning circle on it. Horn, lights. First person, clean, tidy. And as I often say with things like this, it may be exactly what you're looking for. That's the Lizard 8060 by Sleutjes Modding and V3D Modding. Next, we have this absolute monster. This is the John Deere DB120 by JHHG Modding. 28.02 megabytes download. This is under planters. It's 34 slots. It is 120 foot, 30, what was it? 36.5 meters. It is huge, with a few options on this as well. The attention to detail on it is astounding. The JHHG modding stuff always is. If you're not just a John Deere fan, if you're looking for a big planter, this is huge. Now, I have encountered one issue. There is an option for a liquid fertilizer tank. I have not been able to fill that. I've tried to fill it from a Bioanything silo. I've tried to fill it from the IBCs, the ones you saw at the front there. I cannot get it to fill. There's no option to open cover on it. You can for the seed tanks. I've tried it with the planter open. I've tried it with it closed. I cannot get that liquid fertilizer section to fill. I don't know if it's an issue or something I'm doing wrong. Potentially it could be that, but I thought I'd mention it. Now, the list of things on the website Mod Hub that this has, it features, the list is so long. Working pressure gauges, configurable no-till with road cleaners, it says configurable liquid fertilizer, all realistic values, all real place dynamic hoses, one-to-one realistic models and details, over 1,300 movable elements, all proper safety labels and decals. It's incredible. Honestly, the stuff on it is amazing. So, you'll find it under tools and planters. Now, as I said, this is a direct drill. Did I say it? This is a direct drill as well. Run 9 miles per hour, 36.5 meters wide, 120 feet, requires 370 horsepower to operate. 345 grand, it's not cheap. Options available, we can have standard, which has got a tank on the back of 3,524 litres for seed. We can then get the Refuge Plus tank, which increases that seed capacity to 4,404 litres. Then we can have the Refuge Plus and liquid fertiliser tank, which puts the liquid fertiliser tank on there. Or we can have the regular tanks and the liquid fertiliser without the Refuge Plus on there. And then back to standard. We've got the option of Michelin. Let's go to the back. I don't know if we can see that particularly well, but because the text, this is so long, that's as far out as we can go. We've got Michelin, Trelleborg, and we've got John Deere. Under our Michelin, we've got standard, and we've got wide tyres, which are a little bit smoother. Under Trelleborg, we've just got wide tyres, and then under John Deere, we've got crawler tracks, two different sorts. Hang on, that's gone back the wrong way, sorry. Crawler track and a flatter crawler track. Then we've got lights configuration, yes and no. That puts work lights at the back if you want work lights. Then you've got cleaner discs, so if you want to go for that kind of no-till look, it will put a cleaner disc row on there as well. Attachers, yes or no. You can have a rear attacher on this too. So if you want to trail liquid fertilizer or extra seed or whatever behind it, you absolutely can. Vacuum blower unit, we can have that on there too. Then GPS configuration, yes or no. Now on console that has no impact, no effect, but you can have it on there if you want to go for maybe like potentially a more realistic look to whatever farming you are doing. Those are the options. Now, we'll take a long trek back. It might take me half an hour to get to the tractor. I've gone for a John Deere only because whenever I've done John Deere equipment, people say, oh, should really be pulling up the John Deere, so I just kind of do now. Now, lights. So there's our rear work lights that we had as an option. Very nice. We'll open this up. This takes a little while, as you can imagine. It drops the unit down at the 3-point. Then it opens it all out. The animation on it is absolutely phenomenal. Now for some people it may be a little bit slow, but it's realistic. That's the thing about it. That's what I like. Now as I said before, I'm not particularly a John Deere fan. I'm a fan of machinery, of equipment, of farming, that kind of thing. And the engineering of these things is always what fascinates me. And I love the detail that's gone into this. Now I'm going to swing across to this side, I think, because I'm pretty sure once it's open out, these end wings, I think it does the left hand side first. You watch the right hand side go now just to really annoy me. So as if that's not wide enough, let's just go a little bit wider. It's brilliant. So we'll get some seeds in the ground in a minute. Let's swing it to the other side, because once that's done, that side will go. Look at that. Now this has got some flex in it too. Now obviously the ground I'm on at the moment is pretty flat. This does have a lot, like I say, 1,300 moving parts. Even like the way all the hoses are moving as that's unfolding. Absolutely brilliant. A masterpiece. Look at that. So, let's turn it on. First need to unfold it. I thought I had. Is it not done yet? Turn it on. Let's drop the whole unit down. You hear that? That's the blower. The fan unit. A little bit of flex as it goes. Look at all the rows, everything moving independently. That is very nice indeed. You can cover some ground with this, can't you? Row cleaners going at the front. So you've got the animation for them actually kind of row cleaning. They're pushing dirt away. Everything everything moving slightly independently of everything else. Closing wheels at the back doing the same thing, just brilliant. So, turn the lights off. Let's stop there. Now, I'll start the process of folding it. It's going to take quite a while. He says, is it doing anything? There we go. So, that's the John Deere DB120 by JHHG Modding. Wow. What a nice bit of kit. Huge size. So for those guys out there looking for bigger machinery, something for you today. Now, we're going to move on to the last of the mods today, and this is a bit of a bonkers one, but I love it. Only because I'm a bit of a nerd fan type thing. I have one of these myself, believe it or not. So, bear with me a second. I'm here in the woodland. It is Tuesday, May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. It's Star Wars Day. I do have a fair bit of Star Wars stuff. Now, today we have got the Lightsabers, as it says in the mod hub, under Lightsword on console by SimulagriModding. 1.13 megabytes download, 1 slot on console. You'll find them under chainsaws. If we go down to chainsaws, this is amazing. Now, you may want to switch off at this point. That's entirely up to you. You can have a red lightsaber if you want to go Sith. We can go green or blue if you want to. 700 each. And I thought, that's all well and good. But the problem is, if you get it and then it does the chainsaw noise when you cut down a tree, that's going to be really annoying. So, look at that. Oh man, I'm geeking out so hard at the moment. That is so cool. Now, listen. How absolutely awesome is that? So let's go to the tree. Let's get so we can get to the. Oh man, May the 4th be with you. It is bonkers, it is crazy. If you're a Star Wars fan, you're going to love it. If you're not a Star Wars fan, you're probably going to hate it. You got to appreciate though, the sound effects, the glow of the saber itself, it's so well done. It's absolutely brilliant. And that's where I'm going to leave you. It's under chainsaws. I'm getting one. Absolutely, I'm getting one. That's it for the mods for today. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. I'm just thinking, if you're a multiplayer and you've got one of these each. Yeah. Anyway, if you have enjoyed it, if you have found it useful and informative in some way, shape or form, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do, as always, thanks for watching.